Thanks everyone for downloading this episode of the Nerdball Podcast. I'm your host, Lorenzo Melchor, down in my parents' basement, the PB Studios, coming to you with another great episode. Hopefully. I'm just saying this before the episode actually happens, so hopefully it's great. As I always say, thank you for always liking, sharing, subscribing, downloading to the podcast, doing anything you can to help the podcast grow. My sisters are sitting here nodding at me. Am I hitting all the beats? Okay, all right. So thanks as always, and if you need to reach us, just search the Nerdball Podcast on any social media. Don't forget about the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Nerdball Podcast there to not miss any episodes. Also, I've been hitting the social media stuff really hard, and I feel like YouTube Shorts is where it's at for me right now. I've had a couple have over 1,000 views, so that's good. So that's I'm gonna continue to put those out. So look out for them and like them. And show them to people, because I think that's how this thing's going to grow. So, as always, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
This is Mystee Pike.
And Martina Melchor. And this is the
Nerdball Podcast.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melchor.
All right, perfect, guys. Nailed it. Good job.
You paused.
No, this is the start of the episode. You know why
okay.
I paused for a little bit, because I have to edit it, so I know where to edit.
We went like this too.
You guys are. There's no video for this one, so you guys wouldn't see how awkward they were just staring at me, waiting for me to start. But thank you for coming on my podcast. I feel like it was like pulling teeth to get whatever was happening upstairs in our parents' kitchen can happen now. But you guys both seem nervous. Can you handle it, or
You got a big audience.
I have zero audience.
You have the following.
I don't.
After tonight, you will.
Oh yeah. Well, I start every episode by asking, what is something you're nerding out about? Something you're really into, something whether it's something you've always been into or something you just started, but something get you away from work. What is that?
Me first?
Yeah.
Sure.
Electric Forest coming up, the music festival I'm going to with my friends.
Electric Forest. So is it
Yeah.
like techno music, dance music?
Yeah, EDM music.
Okay.
And I feel like when I told Dad, he's like, I thought you retired from that. Because it's been about 15 years since I did one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But but don't you know like Bonnaroo and all that? Isn't it all the same? Like
Yeah,
camping?
but last time I did it was like 2009, 2010.
Oh,
I haven't done it since.
What?
I didn't know
And
that.
I
realize
haven't
it's
met
been that
friends that wanted to do something like this. And I'm 32 and I'm nervous because back then it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to plan and be comfy and everything. So I've been obsessed with that since they started taking payments out of my card. So for the past 6 months or so.
How is it expensive to do?
It's like $600
Okay. All right.
for the ticket, and then I plan to spend like $100 a day there. That's what they say. I Reddited it.
You would have Reddit?
Yeah.
I use Reddit on accident a lot. So like I'll Google something and then the link I click on is
Me
Reddit.
too, yes.
And then it's like, oh yeah, this is cool.
And they're like, "Do you want to open your Reddit app?" But I can't have any more apps on my phone because I don't have any storage. So I say, "No, I'll stay on."
Why? Yeah, because you have to erase videos and stuff to take more videos.
I just erase a picture to take a picture. If someone out there can help me.
Yeah, get more storage. Get a new
Yeah,
phone.
because if I get a new phone, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Because I have pictures on here from 2014. So I don't know.
Just get more storage on your phone. Can't you do that?
Yeah, but I feel like I have to go to the store and say, teach me how to buy more storage. I don't know how to buy more storage. I already
Okay.
paid $2 a month. Isn't that what people pay?
I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I think so. I think we pay that for our Google accounts for stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, this Electric Forest. Where is this at?
Rothbury, Michigan.
Okay.
I think.
How far is that?
Yeah.
Is that away?
Like 2.5 hours away.
Okay.
So we can plan. And
Yeah. You're talking about how you're going to do a mock setup.
Yeah, mic setup. We have to
Ooh, that's
because when
smart.
I get there, people get there at like midnight. And they wait in line for a couple hours and they get to their site and they set everything up in the dark, I guess.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know if there's lights. I got to do my research, but.
You can take that light if you want to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You actually have a lot of stuff I
do.
could borrow.
I do.
I should have talked to you, but yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's
but I
cool.
feel like I got to start going to the gym because I'm going to be tired.
How
and
many-
then I have like one day off when I get home, and then I got to go back to work. So, so we'll see how it goes.
How many people are you going with?
Two.
Yeah.
2 girls, but they're 20 and 21, and I'm 32. So I will be 33 when I go there. So we'll see.
They're gonna be like, Mom.
Yeah. They're looking at me for all the things. But I did Reddit again, and I said like ideas for ravers 30 plus, and I got there's a lot of ideas.
What?
There's a lot of ideas.
Hydrate.
They say
So what's the difference
they
between?
said bring a massager so you can massage your back and your feet at the
Oh my
There's
god.
good shoes to bring.
Yeah.
You got to bring insoles. You have to bring Advil and Tylenol, all the things, and just everything. There's a lot of good, yeah.
Raving for 30
Because
plus.
30-year-old ravers, that's like geriatric and medical. So I'll be ready.
I feel like it's the kind of thing that you would tap into this like inner rock star once you're there, and you might find energy that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, I think so.
You're
And-
definitely gonna feel it
yeah,
like
30.
2 days later.
Oh, I know.
Like that
I
first
know.
day at work, you're gonna be like, ugh, I should have taken today off.
I know.
Too.
And I got 3 12s, like 12, 12, 12.
Oh, in a row.
Yeah, in a row. That's all. Yeah, that's how I could fit it in. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited because that music, I just feel so good and happy.
Yeah.
And I don't have to drink anything. I don't have to do whatever. Like just the music. I love that kind of music. And it's been a while since I found friends that like that kind of music too. So I'm really excited. And I'm like, you know, I don't care that it took me so many years to find him again. I'm happy and I'm taking advantage of this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've always wanted to go to this festival. So I mentioned it to them and they were down and here we are. So
You know, in Toledo at Glass City Metro Park, they're doing a thing called Tech Lido.
I just saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I want to go.
One of my friends, he was on the podcast. His name's Doug. He's kind of running, like he's kind of in charge of it. But it's at Glass City. Yeah, I don't.
So you can get us some tickets?
I mean, probably. Techno music, I enjoy techno music, but it hasn't progressed since Buddy, our brother, showed me the initial music that and then that's all I listen to.
Yeah,
still.
Daft Punk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daft Punk. Like even the kids now, they love when I play "Around the World," and they just start they're like, "What is this?"
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, "Uncle Buddy showed me this music."
Yep.
But it hasn't got past, like I haven't continued on, you know.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool. I'm happy for you because it does not sound fun to me at all. Like because I don't like camping.
And I
It's-
love camping.
you know,
And I always
yeah.
say, like, we never did that as kids. Like,
Yeah.
we never went camping. But
Yeah.
as an adult, I really like camping. And
Yeah.
I like doing my makeup and hair and, like, looking nice every day. But when there's just something about camping and just letting loose and just getting in a lake
Yeah.
or river, whatever. Like, I love that. Or cooking burgers on a grill over a fire. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I ever have a family or whatever, we're going camping all the time. Maybe
I have a lot
not.
of friends that's because it's an inexpensive vacation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, Misty,
And it's good
you
for
guys camp, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And that was something that I did, I would say for the first time, like rustic, or what is it? Deep backwoods
Primitive
camping.
camping?
Thank
Yeah.
you. Primitive
Yeah.
With
camping.
the tent
And hiking
Backpacking,
in. Yeah,
backpacking.
it takes like
Yep.
hours to even find where
Yeah.
you might camp.
I've even pooped in the woods.
Okay. That's great.
I've gone that far.
I don't remember that
Yeah.
No.
myself.
Yeah, at Bonnaroo, we pooped in the woods. Yeah.
That's
No,
wild.
Like you
I
dig a
could've did-
hole and
You
there's,
dig
like,
a hole?
little
Yep.
strategy to it.
We
Yeah.
even had like a lawn chair with a hole cut out of it, so we were comfortable.
That
And
sound comfy.
yeah.
You can make it the comfiest, and it's still in the woods. It's just not gonna.
There was.
And then you mark your spot. I pooped here. Don't go here. Yeah.
You put a poop flag down
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Good spot. Yeah.
pin it to. Oh my gosh, that sounds gross. No, thank you. Did you have like a watcher? Like
A poop watcher.
no, like you're pooping. You're pooping, and a lookout, and someone's like has their back to you, but making sure no one's coming back here.
At a certain point, you just gotta poop. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, maybe if someone's available, hey, will you be my watcher? But
Oh, that's
I only did it
wild.
one night, and I might not have pooped at all. I think my body was like, no, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I feel it.
We're protecting you from this.
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine you have you're recovering from poison oak right now? Could you
Yes.
imagine getting it on your butt and just like,
No.
That makes me sad for myself
oh my god!
already.
I mean, oh no, I can't. It's terrible. It's terrible. Like you have it in your elbow, so a thing that always moves and it gets sweaty. I can't imagine just having it like in your butt.
In your crack.
Oh my god! No, thank you. No, thank you.
Sensitive parts.
So, we were talking about camping, but you missed the U camp, right?
Yes, we've got. Well, there's some great camping in Kentucky where I live, and so that's where my now husband took me when we were first dating. Was to Red River Gorge, and we hiked in this park called the Clifty Wilderness, and we were next to a dog it.
You're good. You're good.
We were next to a creek, and it was sandy, and it was really soft, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. There is this thing there, and I just learned about this today, called the nature pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
It's like the food pyramid, but it's the amount of time in nature that we should all take in
Okay.
for our health. Like on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. And like the further you get into the wilderness, the better it is for you. But on a daily basis, we should at least spend some time outside with our feet in the grass.
Nature pyramid.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking right now. So maybe this can be on a thing I learned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a pyramid that basically you should get. This says you should get in your neighborhood. It's the bottom of the pyramid. It says neighborhood, and then it says hourly. So probably like get out there a lot. In your region, whatever region that may be, weekly, nationally, monthly, and internationally on a yearly basis. Obviously, in a longer duration, but okay.
Yeah, and the top of the pyramid is being out in nature, like far cut off
Yeah.
for at least 3 days.
Really?
Yeah. So you're going to really satisfy that part of yourself.
There's a person who used to work for the Metro Park. Her name's Kim High, and she was like a naturalist and really into that kind of stuff. And is it called grounding when you take your feet, your shoes, and barefoot and everything? She was real big into that. And every once in a while, like in sunset, people want to do programs at the park, and we don't let people in before 7 a.m. But if it's like sunrise events or programs, then we let them in for that. And it's just a bunch of
you see
people.
a line of people, you're like, nope, 7 a.m.
Well, they don't line up to go to the park. That's just the rule. Sorry. Nope.
You're like,
As I'm just walking by, like, nope, tapping my watch.
6:58.
Well, it's funny, too, because our gates are automatic, so they're on a timer. And sometimes it's like 2 minutes off. It doesn't keep up all the time for 7 a.m. So people are like, just like, waiting. I can see as I'm driving through, if I happen to be out at 7 o'clock and I'm driving through, it's like 7:05. There's a car like at the gate waiting for it to open.
Aww.
But our park, Glass City, it has parking on the outside of the park, so you can park and walk into it, and no one's gonna like be mad at you if you're in there at whatever 6:50 or something. But if you're in there too early, the rangers might say something to you. But yeah, anyway, I see people have like grounding programs where people will go and for the sunset and they're barefoot and there's do you call it a science? I don't know. Is it
There's a science
is it one of
behind
those
it.
what's it called? Like holistic? Is it more like holistic, or is there an actual like hard, like people study this thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I heard of a study, and this is actually so you did an episode with Scott, and he talked about the book, The Comfort Crisis.
Yeah.
And this is how I heard about this, because
Okay.
that made me want to listen to it.
All right.
So I've been listening to that book, and there is a lot of research behind it. And one of the ways that they demonstrated, they being the scientists, demonstrated that it has a beneficial impact was that they did this study for creativity, and you take this creativity evaluation before you go out into the wilderness and then after, and you can see like a demonstrated improvement in your ability to think deeper and bigger and more creatively after you've been in the wilderness, to just connect with yourself in nature. Yeah.
Is that how you're gonna be?
Well, no. Well, yeah, no. When I'm at Electric Forest, probably. But my dream is to get a sweet RV one day and just drive and travel. And
That seems fun to me.
I love driving. Like,
Yeah.
we grew up driving to Texas.
I love driving too.
Twice
Yeah.
a year or whatever. And people thought we were crazy driving to Arizona. And I'm like, that's nothing for me. Like, I had so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Was
That's,
it more a crazy thought that you're actually doing it or doing it with your parents as an adult?
No, I think just doing it.
Yeah.
Just doing it. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, there's 3 drivers, so you guys also. No, Mom didn't touch the wheel. I was a terrible driver. So I slept, Dad drove, and then I drove, Dad slept. But yeah, I love driving, and yeah, that's my goal in life. And
Yeah.
if I have a family or not, or whatever, and to get an RV and a condo here or condo close by the family.
Yeah.
But like to get a nice RV and just travel.
Do you, you both said you like to drive, like traveling, driving. As do I, because like you said, we grew
Overflying,
up
yeah.
doing that. But
Same.
I agree, but I also understand if I fly somewhere, I'm going to get a whole another day or sometimes 2, depending on where you're going, like on vacation as opposed to traveling.
But then me as like, I'm going to shop and bring a whole bunch of stuff back. So I'm going to pack my car.
That's
So
what
that
was.
outweighs the extra day. I can bring a bunch of shit stuff back.
We've taken. Sorry, you can cuss. You're right. Okay. We've taken an extra bag with us on vacation before.
Empty.
Knowing that, I think the first time we went to Disney World, we took an empty bag knowing we were going to buy a bunch of bullshit for the kids and have it to come back,
Smart.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. I got to figure something else out.
What?
Oh, well, because something's loud over there.
Yeah, I got to shut
There's-
the door because it's loud.
There's frequency.
Hello, Misty.
He said an empty bag
An empty bag.
because we call her Titi.
An empty
That's
bag.
like an empty bag. For Titi.
You know, whenever I hear someone say, God dang.
Sorry.
Whenever.
So we're going to talk about that later.
Andrea's been clearing her throat lately because she has allergies. And it's loud.
I know. I noticed it.
Like
earlier.
it, like sometimes. Sometimes I'll be sitting there and she does it. I'm like, oh, like,
Whoa.
yeah, it like catches me off guard.
That's what I am
Yeah.
too, though.
Whenever someone calls you Titi, you know what it reminds me of? The
Matt Sparks.
Yeah, he's just like Titi.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's just so funny. Misty, we're 20 minutes in. We talked about Dina camping and driving and vacationing. What about you? What's something you've been nerding out about?
So I am Misty, and I am the sister that likes sad and serious things. So I can go ahead and bring up the fact that I have been nerding out about my self-help group. And it's community help, and it's mutual support, and it's everything. It's a 12-step recovery group. I have been in that group for 9 years.
Nice.
And
What is it?
yeah, it's called
Like
Al-anon.
Al-anon?
Yeah. And I've been in it for 9 years, ever since I moved to Louisville. And I was by myself and away from my family, and I was dealing with some mental stress, and was talking to my mom a lot, and she was like, I think you should give this recovery group a look because we've got alcoholism in our family, and maybe you need to examine how it impacted you. So I finally did out of desperation, and it's one of my favorite things in the whole world.
How often do you go?
So I have at least one weekly group I go to. It's during my lunch on Tuesdays. And then I listen to a meeting on the app, gosh, at least 3 times a week.
Like, is that like a podcast or like?
It's a live like Zoom meeting.
Okay.
And it's
So
yeah.
you say like, Missy, checking in.
I say, hi, I'm Misty, grateful member. And, just wanted to share some experience, strength, and hope. And that's how, we try to support one another. But basically, yeah, I have 12 steps just like Mom does. I'm on step 2, which is came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And that's really about like, what is God to me? What is a higher power? and just re-examining all of that. And yeah, I'm also doing some service work. I'm a treasurer, and whenever I get these checks
That's right.
whenever I get these checks that go to the greater nonprofit that we're a part of, Dan, my husband, he calls it like all my Harry Potter letters are coming in, all my Hogwarts letters are coming in, because I get so many of these checks, and I'm like, man, but it's so worth it. Like, I'm really grateful to do it because it's really, really changed my life. Basically, it's helped me to like deal with anything.
So step 2, you're on step 2.
In
So
9 years.
So step 1
Right?
took 9 years. I'm trying to do math here.
Yeah. I just didn't know like if the steps were like a recent
Or step 2
thing.
again. I know Mom goes through them multiple times.
Yeah.
Yo, I've been slow to pick it up. At first, I really just went to meetings and I just talked to people and I made friends and they kind of made me feel good. And then I had a child of my own. Like, I was a stepmother for a while, had a child of my own. And I was like, oh no, like, I've got some problems that I still have to deal with and I don't want to pass them on. So I was like, I got to get deeper and I got to work harder. So that's when I kind of stepped it up and I got a sponsor and I got more books and I realized, like, I have a hard time asking myself hard questions and sitting down with myself and like really like digging into my past and why I am the way I am and like re-looking at things. And I've grown a lot just since I gave birth. So that's when a lot of it really, really took off.
Tina, have you been to an Al-anon meeting? Have you ever gone?
I have not, no.
I've
heard about it, though.
I went to a men's group when I worked at UT, and it was right around the corner. And it was on a Saturday, and I asked my boss, like, hey, I want to go to this meeting, every once in a while, because I worked Saturday, so every once in a while I want to go check it out. And they're like, yeah, sure. So I did it a few times, probably for about like 3 or 4 months in a row. I would go a couple times a month, and it was all older guys, like really older guys, which is cool. Like, it was cool to hear the stories and they, whatever they talk about. And it was cool to, like, even my first meeting. I mean, you guys know me well enough. I was able to share something in my first meeting because of however we were talking. And, but it was cool and I enjoyed it. But I never felt like I needed anything like that. And you just said, Misty, that you needed it. Dina, have you ever felt anything like that where you're like, because of our mom and our brother, like, have you felt like needing something or is it like a baby sister thing where it's, and I don't know.
Sometimes I feel like la 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 la, because I was so little, I remember stuff and, but sometimes I feel like your guys' childhood was so much different than mine, and I've never felt like I needed that, but I'm also with Mom all the time and talk to Mom all the time. And if I ever felt something, I would talk to Mom or whatever, and I see that the fact that I know that she is still so strong in AA and goes to the meetings all the time and is like
answers her phone for her sponsors, but not us.
Yeah. Like right? our numbers are set on silent, but all her sponsors can go through. But like, that is enough for me. That I can see she's constantly working on that so that helps me.
Go ahead, Misty.
I'm so curious what question you were going to ask, though.
I was going to say, what do you think you've gotten the most out of it? Because you've been in it for 9 years. And maybe it's because you've been in it for so long, like maybe it's been different things at different times. You needed it for something else. So
what really got me into it, because I had gone before. I moved to Louisville.
Okay.
And I remember going to a meeting here in Toledo, and I went in, and this woman was there, and she was like, this is my 20th anniversary today, and I'm still married to this alcoholic. And Buddy was still out there doing what Buddy was doing. And I just sat there that meeting. I was silent, and I got into my car, and I just started crying. Like, I just hate addiction. Like, I hate this disease. Like, I was just so angry I couldn't even go back because I just thought it was pathetic.
Not the what did you think was pathetic?
Living with it and going to these meetings.
Okay.
And it just felt like being a victim. And I guess I really related to that at the time too, but I could not face it. So when I moved to Louisville and I met my now husband, we were just starting to date. I find him, and you guys would probably agree, like he's a very even keeled, like very mentally stable, mentally healthy, like really good person. And when we first met, he was recently separated. He had a young son, so he had some serious boundaries with me. And he was like, we could only see each other Tuesdays and Thursdays and every other weekend. And what I expected...
it's like you were a divorce kid.
I know, right? We had a schedule. And what I expected was like this hot and heavy thing. Like he would move heaven and earth for me because he was we met and he's crazy about me.
Yeah.
That's what I expected. Because that's what I saw in my parents. Like they're just a very passionate story.
Yeah.
And there's a lot behind their story, and maybe, it'll get out here another time on your show, but...
I see a little too much.
My parents' story is, like, dramatic.
Yeah.
And mine and Dan's was not starting out dramatic, and I didn't like that.
So there was, like, almost like no fire.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we like each other.
Like fire for like a second. It's there. It's warm. But like, hold on for a second.
But
I
I
gotta
guess-
go over here. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like pausing the fire. And I didn't think that was okay.
Yeah.
But I had this feeling that maybe it was supposed to be. I just didn't know how to be in this type of relationship.
Yeah.
And so I would say, what's wrong with me? He actually doesn't like me. He acts like he does. And my mind tells me a lot of lies when I don't understand things. And I thought something else was going on. I thought something was wrong with me. And I would start having these like major fits of, anxiety. I remember being at work and crying in the bathroom and not knowing why. Calling my general practitioner, they would give me, I had a prescription to help me with it at first, but I was also calling mom, and what my mom did, she made a commitment to pray with me every morning. So she said, what we're going to do, I'm going to get up with you before you go to work, and we're going to pray. And that was at like 6:30, and she would be the one to call me. I never had to initiate. She was there every morning, even though I put her through what I put her through when I was a teenager. Like, she knew I needed her, and that she could do this for me, and she did. And like I started to get better, and then that's when she suggested Al-anon. And I remember one night I was at Dan's house, and we had a disagreement, and he went inside and went to bed because he didn't really like arguing when emotions were high. He didn't like, we're not going to work things out this way. And I didn't like that. I thought we were supposed to yell until 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, I thought that's how you work things out. And so he went to bed, so I was mad. So I marched home in the rain.
I'm going to show
and
him.
Every few feet, I'm looking behind me, looking for headlights. And Dan is snug as a bug in a rug. Z's floating over his head, having the best sleep of his life. Because he knows this is the right way to handle these things, because he knows himself.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to hurt me. And I didn't know how to work through things like that. And that's when I realized what they say about this idea of being insane. Like, that to me, that's insanity. And so then I went to my first Al-anon meeting. I was like, I don't think I know how to be in a relationship with a healthy person. And that's what brought me there, was like, hey, I'm not comfortable with who I am. I don't think I'm a safe person to be with, and I want to be a safe person to be with. I want to know how to handle conflict. I want to know how to accept responsibility when things are going wrong, and I don't want to just be this anxious ball. Something was happening, and it reminds me of something our dad said when he was turning 40, and he said, Mystee, and he said this to 11 or 12-year-old Mystee.
Oh, God.
And I remember,
Could be anything.
You ready? He said, Mystee, if you don't have it figured out by the time you're 40, shit starts hitting the fan.
Yep.
Have you heard that before?
Wait, has he told
Okay.
you that? Has he told you that,
Yes.
Tina?
It'll start hitting the fan. And it must have been hitting the fan for him. I didn't know how at
Yeah,
that time, but it
yeah.
was, right? We know now.
Yeah.
It was. And I think that's what's happening. That's happening for me at this phase in my life. I'm away from my family. I'm in a new city. I'm trying to grow and start this new phase. And now it's time to start dealing with things and unpacking things. And that was all taking place. And, come back to the Al-anon meeting, and it's just like, I feel good here. This is where I feel peace. When I went back to work, I would read the opening lines of the Al-anon meeting script, and I would feel at peace again. So that's what told me I was in the right place. And I met a lot of people that were willing to hear what I had to say, that shared similar things, and I was like, I want that serenity, as they say, that you have. And so that's how I found a community there that has really been worth sticking around for.
Whenever you talk, and I don't know if you feel this way, Tina, I was whenever I have conversations with you, Mystee, I'm like, should I be working on myself more?
Yeah, dude. I feel the same way. I'm like, wait, we grew up in the same house.
Sorry.
Shouldn't I have the same? Do I have the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
problems? And I'm just like,
Getting
Do
hot.
I gotta go down? Like, should I get a sponsor?
am I just a shitbag?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Do I not care about myself? No,
Okay.
I do too, though. But you've always been that way.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
I'm a
always been
sensitive
that way.
sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, Mystee,
You're
your
just very
feelings.
aware of yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you take care of what needs to be done internally, and
Yeah.
when I might turn to friends or turn to other things to help me feel good, like you're like, okay, what's within myself? Like you've always been that way. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
when she used to go to the soup kitchen and bring home, boxes of
That
cereal.
is your dad right there. That's some bullshit Dad would say. I'm sorry.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah. What?
Because
I loved when you came home from the soup kitchen. You brought us all kinds of
I
cereal.
brought
and
Count
everything.
Chocula, and our parents did not
We'll
buy
just be
Count
waking
Chocula.
up and you'd already served 2 hours at the soup kitchen and you had cereal for us. And we're like, yeah, all
What's
right.
happening?
That's you.
I vaguely remember that. Also, why would you go to the soup kitchen and bring home food? Isn't that for them? Like, what is that
Well,
about?
she
I know,
volunteered
they were
so
like-
hard. She got.
They paid me. They actually paid me in cereal.
They paid me in
I'm
cereal.
doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the way I feel, and I feel like I'm okay, and I see my therapist every once in a while, and I talk to friends and obviously Andrea and everything. But yeah, whenever you talk about it, I'm like, it seems like a lot of work, and like for me, like I'm sure I could benefit from it, but I don't know, if I can put the time in that you do for that kind of stuff, and then that makes me think, it's like, well, should I? But then I have all these other things. Like, I don't know, maybe it's different. Maybe it's when I'm older. I don't know.
I feel like your
When the kids are
other
older.
things.
She's burning it down there until it comes out when you're older.
That's true. Maybe you got to be 50 before shit hits the fan.
She just figured it out early.
Yeah. No, the other things that you do are your quote unquote program, because
Yeah,
they make
that's-
you like fulfilled,
Sure.
and they let you learn more about yourself. They let you challenge yourself more and prove to yourself that you can be all these things like you've always wanted, for yourself. And for others. Like you do a lot for kids.
Sure.
Kids that probably have stuff going on, but they can trust and count on you. And I think that's got to be, healing.
Yeah, I never think about it that way. Like I think about it as like, all right, I'm coaching softball or I'm coaching football or whatever, or I'm helping out these other people or whatever. And it's just at this point, it's just what I'm doing because it's fun. And I like to do it, but I never see it as like. I mean, every once in a while I see it as like something for me too. But for me, when I do it, it's just like, well, this is my job right now, and this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to help do these other things, But there are times where I've had discussions with kids when I've mentioned, however it comes up, I've either talked about our brother or talked about mom, and then they can relate in some way, and them knowing these things about me helps them to be like, oh yeah, well I deal with this. There was just one kid who's like, yeah, I got to go to my dad's house, but I don't like going over there because he drinks a lot. And then we started talking about that, you know. So there are things that happens too, where I'm able to, even if it's just listening, you know, I'm able to help that way too, you know.
Yeah, and I just feel like building friends and building community around you has always been easier for the two of you than it has been for me.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's a big part of, you know, why I pursue Al-anon the way that I do as well. But you guys have, you know, a lot of people that have been in your life a long time, you know, and that's your own form of like support.
Yeah, yeah. It is good to know, like I could call one of my, like if something was happening right now, I could call my friends, one of my friends, and we could talk about whatever, you know, with it. That's yeah, I don't know. I always just think it's funny. Like I said, whenever you like even when we have conversations, it's just like, all right, well, what about me?
Yeah, we all were there because we all were there.
Well, okay, so I have this neighbor, and I was talking to her about the same thing, and I was like, you know, my siblings don't do it, but I know they're the worst. But they're also my sisters, so
Yeah,
fine.
we love
Stupid
them. We
dogs.
love them.
the dogs. So, no, my siblings don't do it, but I also feel like they don't need it. And she was like, well, maybe it's because they internalized your experiences. They internalize experiences differently, you know, and I feel like that's very true. Like we all have different ways of processing how things happen. It's in the context of just the way that I know.
You're good. Keep going.
It's in the context of
Edit them out.
I can't. Sorry.
the way we were born and
Yeah.
the way we were made to be and perceive things. And yeah, I'm just like super sensitive.
Well, it's funny when we talk now because it all makes sense. Because like when we were younger, we would never talk back to Dad. We would never question anything. And Misty, what's Misty doing? Talking back.
Yeah, my mom
That's
would
a
be
good
like,
point.
my mom would be like,
always talking back.
just
Get kicked
don't.
out when she's like 15. Where's she gonna go? She ain't gonna go nowhere.
my mom's like, literally, you have one job right now, and that's to not say anything.
And,
That's all you have to do.
and you would literally say all the things. I remember being in the other room like, shut up, Misty. Shut up, Misty. Stop talking. Stop talking. And you want it.
I know.
So, you know, it just makes sense. Yeah.
I'm different. No.
That's funny that I forgot about that. But you're right. Like for me, it's so easy for me just to be like, all right, I'm just not gonna deal with that right now.
I'm just going to listen.
Okay, I'm in trouble. Cool,
Yes,
bye.
you're right. I love you.
I
Yes.
accept
I'm wrong.
it. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
No. What's wild though? Guess who's afraid of conflict today? This girl.
Yeah?
Like, yeah. Even with our 14-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to call him out for stuff that a parent should. You know, I start to feel
feel
something
like you'd
rise
be
up
so
in
good
myself.
at that.
I know. Sometimes I am, but it has to be coming from the right place.
What about work? Like, do you have a team or are you just your own thing?
Well, let's just put this out here. Are you the only sibling that's ever gotten fired because of their attitude?
Whoa!
I'm just throwing it out there.
Never have I ever gotten fired.
Never ever gotten fired.
See, that's not fair because you know the answer.
I cheated.
Yeah,
Can you give me another
I
one?
have definitely. I've risen up on my boss before, as if he's my equal in the world, and
See, and
Thank
like you say, you know, like conflict, but I would never do that. Like,
you. I've done
and-
that. I've
But
done
you
that
didn't
before.
lose
I
job
guess,
Correct,
I guess if it's blatant and you're like, okay, come on, this is wrong. But
Yeah.
even so, like that's hard for me to do.
Well, here's what I learned with where I'm at now and other places, but specifically where I'm at now, where we have a team, just our supervisor. There's 4 supervisors there. It's my boss, then me, then my 2 assistants. But we're all
You have 2 assistants.
yeah.
Dang.
We're all so candid with each other where we can say things like if my boss says something that we think is out of pocket, we'll call him out and we're like, well, no, that's not right. You know, it didn't happen that way. This is how it happened, and it's unfair for you to say it like this. And then he'll be like, okay, yes, you're right. You know, but And that's what I see as a good boss now, like, is understanding, like,
That's true.
we're so intertwined where we know he's the boss still. So whatever he says, we're going to do whatever he says. But he also has built that real estate, or what did Scott say before? Like, filled that cup, or put all these deposits in, knowing where when he does take something out, a withdrawal, like he's built it up.
Right.
So he can like say these things, and we can say these things back because of the relationship.
It's psychologically safe.
Yes. We can say whatever we want. You know, we've gotten mad. We've never yelled, because I think that's just childish. I feel like, to yell.
Yes. Yeah.
But we've raised our voices at one or another because of certain things, and I've learned that it's really healthy, because then at the end, like, there was one time where it was my boss, Emily, and myself, and we're all talking, and my boss and Emily can kind of go at each other a little bit, but that's just the relationship. And I left the room because I get uncomfortable. And I left the room for something, and I came back, and they're sitting next to each other laughing and talking,
Yes.
because that's just how it is, you
Yes.
know. And it's such a, like, I feel good about it all the time, because now I know if I have a problem, or I also know that if my boss has a problem, like, we can deal with it healthily and it'll be fine.
Yes.
You know, but I've never felt like I don't remember this example that Dina talked about where you yelled at your boss or talked back to your boss that ultimately got you fired. But I've never felt that way, you know, at places. And I would imagine, well, I guess maybe it's not the case. Maybe it was something that you felt like you needed to stand up on, or maybe it wasn't, because, you know.
Oh, it all worked out, because I got fired and I got severance, and I found the best job. So it worked out. But in my case, it is similar, you know, because I knew deep down I wasn't supposed to be talking back.
Yeah.
Something made me keep talking. I don't know what. I don't know what that
Eddie,
was.
from a
I have
young
not
age.
unpacked that yet.
And,
Yeah,
and
none of that
Dina's
stuff.
back in Ohio going, just shut up.
I
Just be quiet, Mystee.
I know, because when I moved in with Dan and his son, and I saw them argue, and I saw his son talk back to him, I was like, oh no, you know, like, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you're supposed to behave, whatever. And they could cut up afterwards, and I'm like, what? That's not what. That doesn't compute.
You're supposed to
for
be
me.
upset for a while.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
supposed to, like, give the silent treatment, whatever. You know?
Sleep, wake up the next day, like, should I go down for
Yeah,
breakfast?
walk in the rain. Yeah.
Walk in the rain.
So I was like, okay, things like don't have to mean the whole world,
Yeah.
you know? And so I've had to, like, check what is reality and what is the fantasy in my head, the fiction in my head. And yeah, I've just learned that I cannot trust a lot of my initial thoughts, just to take time with those things.
Is that hard though? Then, because I feel like you can't like. I feel like you always got to pause yourself.
That's a concept. That's a major concept in Al-anon, is the pause.
Oh, that's gross. I can't do that.
Well, in healthcare, that's what you got to do too.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
pause.
I mean, I guess I do, but in certain instances, like, I feel like sometimes it's good to just have the knee-jerk reaction to whatever it is.
Like when you were describing your work, I'm like, man, I wish it was
Aw.
like that. But you know, but it's only a few people. Like
Yeah.
my job, there's a bunch of people, you know, and I can
Yeah.
only trust a few people to have a real how we really feel. You know, we're not gonna tell each other. You know, we're not gonna tell the other person or whatever. And,
Yeah.
And you know, this person's secretly friends with this person and this, you know, and it's stressful. So I get that. Like, it's hard, but that's why. You know, I love having so many friends, and like when we get together, we just yap about everybody. I'm like, you know, like it's a free space.
Yeah.
It's a free space, and that's what you need when you work with a bunch of people. You know, but
I
I
could-
get the pause. I get the pause.
I could never be at a place that's stressful, and I guess healthcare in it's just in itself is stressful, because you could be, hey, everyone's chilling, and then all these lights start going off and these
Right,
sirens and
right.
everything. You got to take care of all this stuff, but that's the job. I'm just talking about the people aspect of it.
Well, and it's not even that. It's okay. How do you respond to when all the crazy stuff happens? Well, this person thinks I'm not doing it good enough, and that person thinks I should have been fast enough.
Nah,
and that person
screw
thinks
that.
I'm stupid, and this person thinks I know it all. And it's so much.
Yeah.
It's so much. That's why, like, you just have to. I don't know. I'm nervous. Like the type of person I am, but the place I work at has made me grow a lot as a person.
Yeah.
But
Do you get used to it after a while?
you do, and you know the people. You get to know the people and stuff.
Well, that and you probably know like their reaction to things now by now. Yeah.
And you have to be okay with yourself. Hey, did I do the best I could do? Did I handle the situation the best I knew how
That's
to?
huge.
That's it. That's it. And if they think something different, or they only see bits and pieces and want to judge you, and they're talking about you for 3 weeks and whatever, and
That's their problem.
And that's their problem.
Yeah.
But that's hard for me.
That's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
That's hard for everyone
Whether
to be
they
like.
want to admit
easy
it
to
or not,
say it.
because I feel like sometimes I'm alone. I'm like, you don't care that Susie Q hates you and is
Yeah.
talking about you now? Okay, well, I would start crying every day. when I say, like, but I mean, and yeah. it's just-
People's opinions about you, people always say like, it doesn't bother me, or you got to not let that bother you. Like it bothers everybody, and it might not be every single person.
or to so much extent, you
Yeah,
know, like,
but there are important people that where you think like I want them to think the best of me, and then you hear if that they don't, you're like that's crushing.
yeah.
It's terrible. But it'd be hard. It'd be hard to go to a job where it's the people part is stressful, because that's a majority of your job. How do you get things done? You got to be able to communicate and talk to these people and be coworkers. I always tell my staff, like, look, you don't have to be friends. You got to be coworkers, though. You got to be able to communicate and do all that stuff, Especially when people are like dying and everything.
Oh my
know?
gosh.
Yeah.
Poop in their pants.
Pooping everywhere.
Flinging it at you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was walking down the hall and I just walking down, poop right in front of my face, flinging down the hall.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
I thought I told you that story. That's why you said that.
I was like, wait, what does Lorna know that I don't know?
No. See, that was a fake, really, for the podcast, so you could tell the
Oh,
story.
my God.
Yeah. See?
Really? Continue.
See? I'm a
I
good
ever-
host. I'm a good.
You are.
Flung in front of my face. Yeah.
So tell me about it. Is that it?
So poop.
I was walking down the hallway and poop flew right in front.
That's so wild to me.
Poop flew right in front of my face, and I was on the desk, and the nurse was like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" But I had like 50 other things to do, and I looked at her, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I cannot deal with this right now." I'm like, "You please call your nursing assistant that's in your section,
boundaries.
because I cannot deal with flying poop right now." That is like last on my list.
Man, I feel like everybody else in America is like, that'd be first on my list.
No,
I didn't have budget for that today. I don't have it. I don't have the capacity.
It's not in my mental ability to deal with flying poop right now.
no, I had to tell her straight up.
And she was
But
like,
then I felt bad. But I'm like, that's a whole thing. That's the whole like 45 minutes. Like
Yeah.
I have 10 other things to do. So
Sorry.
ugh,
yeah.
no, I could never do.
You got
I-
guys in suits that come and clean that up?
No, we are the guys.
I would not survive.
just
there.
put some rubber gloves on and go.
Yeah. We don't even have the kind that go all the way to the elbow. Just right here, cut off,
Right at the
cut
wrist.
off at the wrist.
You still got to angle your wrist perfectly so it
Yeah.
doesn't touch anything.
Yep.
Yeah, I
I'd
mean,
always have poop on my skin if I were you. I'm not coordinated.
I've seen some gross stuff in restrooms, like cleaning restrooms for the past 5 years. Even now, like I don't clean them very often anymore, but my staff will tell me like it's one thing to have like dirty diapers that are in the garbage overnight. Okay,
Sure.
the restroom's gonna stink, but like sometimes it looks like people just bend over and fire pooped at the wall, like it's right out their butt,
Right. No,
just
it's
on
true.
the wall.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to me. One of the craziest times was at UT, at one of the bus stops at UT. Somebody pooped in the bus stop, and also had toilet paper and wiped themselves because
And
there's
left the
toilet
toilet
paper.
paper.
Yes,
I mean,
I'm like, man, you planned this
better
shit,
than
like a bus stop shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just it's wild. Like someone just pooped in a parking lot. It's just
So,
it's wild.
What you're saying is I should be grateful that I'm cleaning it coming right out from their ass. That's great. Like I should be grateful.
Yeah, it's not old poop.
It's not old.
It's not
poop,
day old poop.
fresh. They're on the call like, "Hey, I pooped," or "I'm there. I'm there. I got you." Thank you.
Have you ever thrown up?
No, what's crazy
That's
is
your thing, Lodi.
at work
I
at the
know, it is.
hospital.
It
At
is.
work at the hospital, never gag, never throw up, never. What gets me is the suction with the like saliva and
oh,
like
give me
puke.
goosebumps right
Puke
now.
really gets me.
Yeah.
But I don't see that very often. I can clean, poop, and pee all day. But my side jobs, like the home care and stuff,
Yeah.
for some reason that makes me gag. But at home, at work, or at the hospital, nothing. But
Maybe it's because it's the setting. Like this should be
because I'm
happening.
comfy and
This should be happening at work. And not at someone's home.
Yeah,
you
maybe.
know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I have to like tell the husband like I'm sorry, I never gag. Like, and this really isn't that gross. I don't know why I'm gagging, but here I am. Like, you know, but I get it done. You know, but
you know, I almost on my flight back from Dallas after we went to Sedona, I almost threw up on the plane. Like I was the closest to throwing up. Like, well, first of all, I don't like. What is that?
That's a dog.
She's still down here?
and
No, she just came
down
Oh,
here.
okay.
Well, because we had a lot of food.
So the turbulence, like the last 20 minutes was terrible. I never sweated so much, like just pouring down. I'm like just closing my eyes, trying not.
Really?
And like Dad asked, because he was like, "Did you grab the little bag?" I was like, "No, that would have made it worse. If I would have grabbed the bag, my body would have been like, okay,
yeah.
then we're free to puke."
Right.
And I just had to sit there and just like put my head against the window, sweating profusely. And then as soon as we landed, like everything was fine. But like I was about to throw up. It was so close, so close.
It had nothing to do with those drinks and big nachos. And
No, that was to Dallas. This was on the way home.
Oh, on the way home. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Dina and I split nachos, quesadilla.
Nachos, quesadilla, and had a beer each
Yeah.
at the airport.
At the
I've
airport.
never eaten food at
that's
the airport
cute.
before.
No?
No, that was my first time.
Oh,
yeah, it was
alright,
fun.
Bonding.
Yeah, it was.
And then
it
I was
fun.
there for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yay.
So
Yeah.
I landed in Dallas, went to Trey's, had a bunch of beers, got back to my hotel at like 1 or something, and Dina's like, "I'm still here.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'm still in South
Not
Phoenix."
right.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that late, but it was late.
It was pretty
Because you
late.
didn't get into Detroit till like what, like 3 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get a McDouble and a 10-piece nugget and a large fry. I don't care.
Right.
I deserve this.
That's right.
I
You earned
deserve
it.
this. I don't care about diet.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it was. When I saw that text, and I think it was probably around.
You said no effing way or
I thought you were messing with me.
No.
Yeah, and I was at Trey's. It was probably closer to midnight or 11. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I told this whole story. I was like, "Martina's just been sitting at the airport."
Literally. And I was, mind you, I was terrified to be alone. Like when Lodi left and Lodi's like, "I'm gonna go." I'm like, "Okay." And like I'm like, "No, stay." But like, you know, I was like, okay.
Stayed. You could have told me.
I'm a big girl. And I was like, okay. 7 hours later, I'm just all alone.
You get the notification on your phone. What does delayed mean? Why am I delayed?
Yeah. Oh, Andrea's at home with the kids. Lodi's at his friends. And I'm just still at the airport where
Everybody's got somebody.
Well, the plan was because they took different flights, but they were going to get in at the same time. So Andrea was going to take
Martina.
Dina home, and obviously that didn't work out. But
We're just off by like 7 hours. She could have waited, but
Yeah. Mystee, if you ever get a chance to go to Sedona,
Bruh.
it was
I lived
awesome.
in Arizona.
he lived there.
I know. Did you go to Sedona though?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so
That
cool.
was part of why I didn't go. Also, just because I had my other vacation planned a week later.
Sure.
But yeah,
And she wants
I've been-
5-year notice. Right, next one.
What? That's not true. I literally had a Disney cruise booked already.
Did you go on it? How was it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Was it?
You don't post nothing or said nothing.
I didn't even know you did a Disney cruise.
either.
I don't really want to talk about why I don't post stuff, but yeah, you're right. I don't post stuff.
What, you got a secret stalker?
No.
Don't listen.
I doubt he's one of the 25 people. That
And I bet he is if he's stalking.
But-
he's gonna Google Misty's
I can
name.
Yeah.
show you. I can
This is
show
gonna be
you the
the first thing that
pictures.
pops.
No, it's all right. We don't need to see it.
Okay.
So Andrew and I have looked into the Disney cruise, but I feel like we just get more out of actually going to Disney than
Oh,
the
okay,
cruise. You know
sure,
what
sure,
I mean?
sure.
Yeah.
Well, for us, it was we wanted to plan a big trip, and we thought we were going to be able to save enough money to go to Europe, and we didn't. And then so we, shoot for the moon, land among the stars.
Sure.
So we landed among the Disney cruise options.
That was your second cruise you've been on, right? The first one was with your neighbor? Okay.
Yes. So I'm a cruiser.
Two.
And yeah,
Please.
so I'm on 2. Bougie now. So
Well, 2 recent, like back close
Just
to
this
Back
each other.
year.
to
Both of
back.
them were this
I
year.
couldn't go to.
yeah.
I'm kidding. Go.
So sorry.
Anyway.
Dina and I have been conspiring to go on a 311 cruise together since
Since 2016.
before.
Do they exist?
Yeah.
Oh, like.
Dude, everybody.
Like
You know,
2025,
Modest Mouse has a cruise now.
2027, 2029.
Oh,
Did you know
okay.
Modest Mouse has a cruise now?
Oh, really?
Just saying.
I just love 311.
I know that would be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be very.
Shout out 311. They're probably listening right now.
He's just stupid.
Peanut.
Nick,
Okay,
Exum, I love you.
Oh my god. I don't know any of those.
You know Peanut.
Wait, you got what? Omaha Stylie.
Omaha Stylie.
What is
Hello, peace and unity. Anywho, go
Oh
on.
my gosh. Oh,
your cruise?
yes.
So it was good.
Yeah. So anyway, Holland's graduating 8th grade, and we wanted to plan something big, and so he was really excited about this, and because they've got a lot of activities on the ship, and then multiple islands, Disney islands, and the teen clubs, and that's what saved us, and that's what made this trip worth it for everybody, because we got to drop the 5-year-old off in the Oceaneer Club. Our teenager went and did his thing with other teenagers. It was almost like sending him to summer camp. I mean, we hardly saw him.
Oh yeah, nice.
And then
That's like a family
so-
vacation without the family.
So mom
Nice.
and dad.
That's why I don't have kids.
No, it's so amazing. We dropped the 5-year-old off in the Oceaneer lab. You just go a few steps over to the side and one level down, one deck down. Parent bars, popping
nice.
off any time of
Popping
day.
off.
And we go right into an Irish pub, and then, we can be back there to pick him up within 3 minutes if we really
You
want
remember
to.
who he is.
If
you own him.
So it really was a vacation when we got back.
All
you
right,
know,
that's good,
like I
that's
wasn't
good.
exhausted. We didn't have all these logistics. We didn't have to drive. We didn't have to buy tickets. So
That's
it's
always
worth
that's always
it.
the hardest part about vacation is it feeling not like vacation. Like Sedona felt good. I think it's because our kids are older now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sedona felt like a vacation because it was like
It's amazing.
we did like more, not like adult things, but they were just with us when we did the things that we wanted to do, and
And we're like, hey, do you want to stay here or do you want to go or what's up? Like,
yeah. So, and we did some things that were good for them too, but it was relaxed because as they get older,
They're easier.
it's easier
Yeah.
to because when we first took them to Disney, they were 7 and 4, so it was constantly like, no, don't touch that. No, we got to be over here. We got to go do this.
Yeah.
We got to do that. It was constant. I mean,
So
you're
many
always a
times.
parent, but it's dialed back a little bit. When you're like, hey, I'm sitting here today. If Mimi and Appa and Aunt Martina are going to go, if you want to go shopping with them, they're going to go, and that kind of stuff. So.
That's why I love it. If I ever pop out a kid anytime soon, I'm like, look at all these people you can go with. Do you want to go with them? Sure. You want to
Yeah.
go there? Sure. You need some breast milk? I'll pack it up. You don't need me. What you need me for?
My God. Mother of the year over here.
That's the blessing of being the youngest.
It's true.
Yeah.
No, you'd be good.
But I was also,
We got you.
I don't know how I got on the subject of like being the youngest of my friends. And I was like, yeah, like it's nice. People are always like, oh, because I don't know if I want kids or not. And I was like, oh, maybe my niece and nephew will help me. I'm like, their parents are going to be, I'm like, I'm going to outlive all of them. God forbid, something, in case something happens to me or whatever. And I'll probably go to all their funerals. I'm like, one down.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It only took an hour. It only took an hour to bring up the dead brother.
I mean, two to go.
That is.
My friends are like, you're laughing way too hard about that. I'm like, guys, that's a good one. I got to save that for the podcast when I'm with my brother. And that's it.
Oh my gosh. There was something that I always read or I always see on TikTok where they're like, yeah, if you have so many siblings, someone's gonna be at none of your funerals and someone's gonna be at all of your funerals. I was like, ooh, yeah. And we already have one that's not at any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
One
only
down.
one down.
No, what I have noticed though, to get us off dead people talk.
Thank you.
I have noticed.
Mystee.
You
No.
You did it, dude.
No, you really opened the door.
One
wide
down.
open.
One down.
One down.
I did notice that my podcast is getting downloaded in a bunch of different countries now.
Nice.
What about
I don't even
Iceland?
care if they understand this or not.
They won't understand that
Understand what?
sentence for sure. I don't care if you speak English or not. Nobody understood that.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Canada, Brazil, United Kingdom, India, Poland, France, Russia, Singapore,
No.
Turkey. Yeah. I mean, it's only a few downloads, but still. Yeah. It's exciting. And now,
Who
with
do
you
you
guys
know
on,
there?
it's
Name
popping up.
everybody.
I don't know. I don't know anybody there. Name everybody? Jeez.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever said that to you? Oh, you know there. Name everybody.
Or else it didn't happen.
Okay.
You also didn't.
I don't believe you.
Name,
Anyways.
name everybody. All right. What else? Anything else? Did you make any notes? I don't think you
Blank.
did.
So blank. No.
We hit all your
I'm like, what you got your notes out for?
we hit all your points.
So I got to
Yeah,
go to
come
Al-anon and I
on.
have to have my notes out. Okay.
Shut up. So
How is it? I don't know if I've ever really talked to you. How is it being a stepmom? Like, I feel like it had to be hard at the beginning.
At first,
but
yeah.
now it's like whatever.
First she's
now.
like, what the heck?
what am I doing?
I was like, Mommy.
This kid's crazy. Mommy, you're not my real mom.
Actually, that day did come. I know.
Oh, yeah?
You told me it would, and then
I
it
know, I
did,
did.
and-
Yeah?
I did tell her. Every
So-
Lifetime movie.
In every Lifetime movie came true.
Yeah.
No,
You're
they're
not
right.
my real
Yeah.
mom.
They're right. Yeah, so I went straight into a relationship with a 5-year-old as a stepmom. So I missed all that other stuff. Like I did get a chance to develop, love for him. Dan didn't let me meet him for almost 11 months. So he really wanted to make sure
Which is good.
Right? That's
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it was hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, don't you love me? Well, you should let me meet him after we've known each
Immediately.
Joni,
Jonies? Jonies?
after we've known each other for a week, right?
Yeah.
Too
So-
healthy for this family.
I know. He's so healthy.
Where's his trauma?
You know what's crazy to me
Where's the
is
trauma?
he is like he doesn't fit in, but
But he does.
But he does.
does.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's weird.
He's so like
It's weird.
not
He's
here, but
Like, it's funny because
all
you
right.
can try. He tells tell that he tries hard to do our jokes, but he does them so well. Like you don't gotta try so hard. Like you got him.
Yeah.
It's okay. You got him.
He's smart.
Well, do you remember? Do you remember introducing, being nervous about introducing him to any of us? I don't remember meeting him for the first time. I'm assuming we
either.
went to Louisville.
No,
but
we were at Jake and Amanda's party.
was it okay? Okay,
It was here.
I couldn't
4th
remember.
of July, 2016. I
Oh yeah.
Man, you remember?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
4th of
I
July,
know.
2016, 7:14 p.m.
think. No, Jake was making Cubanos.
At their little house.
their little
yeah.
house.
Oh,
yeah.
yes,
my
at their
mommy.
other house.
Yep. And we have that
Yes.
picture.
I do
seeing-
remember
yep,
now.
Yeah, and I was not
Okay.
nervous at all.
7:16 p.m. But I
Yeah.
do remember.
I've got a photo. I can.
All right.
look
Were
at
you
that.
were you nervous about it at all?
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Because I don't have that. Obviously, I don't have that thing of here's my older brother. Like that's such a cliche of
Yeah.
meeting my older brother, But also, I think Buddy would have been that typical stereotype of an older brother. Me,
Oh, yeah.
I'm different, but I think, but even Buddy would have been like jokey about it too, though. You know what I mean? But I remember the night. I just don't remember everything that was said. But I remember sitting there and talking to him, sitting next to him, and chit chatting and that kind of stuff. But
No. I think I was used to everybody just giving me a break too because my husband had died and I'd been through enough in life.
So
and,
you turned it down. You're like, you're good.
yeah, I'm like, you're fine.
You got this.
Yeah, no, I was just used to that. People just, really took care of me. And even if you were going to give them a hard time, it was going to be out of love and fun. So I just was not
Was there
in
anything?
that state of mind at all.
Was there anything that Dan did? You're like, just don't do that.
Oh gosh.
Don't fart on people.
What can I? Well,
And now,
that was
farts
that's a
on
big
all of
part
us.
of our relationship. Yeah, right. No, but the stepmom thing.
Yeah.
There was
back to the farts.
Yeah.
Dan farts on us all the time.
Not us. He hasn't farted on me.
Our dad.
He farts and blames it on children. But
That's
go
true.
on.
Yeah.
Anyways. Go on.
No, I had to. It was the first time that Dan ever worked late, and I had to be home with Holland, and well, I was at the point where he trusted me to be home with Holland, and it was time to go to bed, and I put the hammer down. That's all I knew was how to put the hammer down. I didn't know how to be fun. I didn't know how to make it a game. I didn't know how to do it with them. I didn't know those strategies yet. So I was like, well, you gotta go to bed. And he didn't want to. And I remember him going to his room and slamming the door. And I poked my head in and I was like, Holland, and I could hear him under the bed. And he was just like, no, you're not my mom. And I was like, come on out. And he goes, crud is life.
Crud is life? What?
I felt so bad. I was like, I felt bad, but I was also laughing. It made it really light because the kid was only 5.
Yeah.
And so I was
where
like,
was Dan?
oh, I'm stupid. He had a side job at a liquor store at the time.
I
So he
remember
was,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
he helped them on weekends and holidays, basically. And so he was there, and I was like, wow, I need to dial it back because I don't know how to be a parent, and he just made me laugh, and it just got really light, and I was just like, come on, let's just watch TV together.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to bed. I'm not going to make you go to bed anymore. And I just really had to learn how to lighten up.
Yeah.
I went straight I came in hot. I came in hot. And, Dan had to really help me to learn how to be a step parent and not an actual parent, because he was just like, it really, I don't want you to lose him. I don't want you to not have a relationship with him. And I want this to be successful for you. So just whatever you're feeling, work it out through me, and, try to be as gentle with him as you can. And I had to learn how to do that and not be the Hammermeister that I grew up with.
Dan is so normal.
He's so normal.
Do you you made that last comment, but do you remember mom and dad being mean? Well,
They had expectations
You also
that we met.
I never remember them being
Awesome.
mean, and I think
For the most part.
and I think obviously
Until I was a teenager. Yeah.
you and me, Misty, were different. They were, I'm not gonna say checked out, but they were also getting divorced, and
Yeah.
Dina, you're the baby, and
Right.
all these different things that you were just parented differently because it was 8 years difference, so you were just parented differently. But Misty, I just don't remember them being I remember getting my car taken away because I didn't get good grades, but I never felt like they were mean parents. And I don't know if you felt that or if you just felt I don't know. I never felt strict. I never felt mean. I never felt that. Now, there were times where that happened, but overall, they had their own shit that they were dealing with, and I
That's
just felt like
true.
they didn't have time to do
I
that
felt
right.
like they relied on us a lot to, I don't know how to say it. They raised us a certain way to be at a certain age, and I just think they really relied on, okay, I hope we did a good job because you got to be a 16-year-old, or you got to be a 17-year-old or 18. You have to be a certain way in our eyes, how we raised you, reliable and responsible.
Doing well in
and,
school. Yeah.
And I think they just put a lot on us, okay, do what you gotta do. And if not, then come back to us and we'll figure it out.
I do think about that. When it comes to me micromanaging what my kids eat, my parents never did that.
No.
Where did I get this from?
Aldi night.
We just ate straight from the grocery
Aldi
bag.
night was the best. And mom and dad would get a bunch of groceries. They didn't feel like paying for them, and they just say, okay, Aldi night. We just ate the best stuff at first, like, and I'm like, man, the way prices are now, I never let my kids, my fake kids that I don't have an Aldi night. Like,
That's true. Or hydration. Like, we're hyper about hydration with
Oh,
our
yeah.
kids.
yeah,
Like, we never heard that term with
I
our
never bought
parents.
a water bottle in second, third, fourth, fifth,
like,
sixth grade.
I know.
Like, what?
And all the kids take them to school. Like, they all have water bottles.
No.
Yeah, even Mateo like has water bottles that he takes to school with him. You
Me
know?
and some of our friends joke because I told them about Dad telling us to just swallow our spit.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
we're
They're like,
thirsty,
yeah, we
swallow
tell
your
that to our
spit.
son
Yeah.
now. It's so
Yeah.
good.
And I don't have any. He's like, take a minute, build it up, and you'll have some. Like, or waiting in line for the water fountain. Like, that's how we drink water during the
That's
day.
true.
Like, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't think too much about like being a parent and comparing myself to mom and dad. I just know how to parent, like how I parent, and that's all I can do. And sometimes I do something I shouldn't do, and then I figure that out. And sometimes everything works out okay. I mean, everything does work out okay. It's just all these little blips, as Dad was saying earlier, like, well, you're gonna regret that, or and that happens. Like, you think about things that you've done or said or whatever, and you'll always have that. You're never gonna be perfect,
Yes.
but you try to do the best you can.
Or you just don't have any. You don't got to worry about it.
Right.
You just be an ant.
Or you have
just
them a
be
little
an
later
auntie.
and your sister helps you raise them.
I know
totally
Andrea's
fine.
like, I'll help. And
We're
Mom and
so
Dad are
ready.
like, Mom and Dad are like, we'll help you. I'm like, you guys are tired when Mateo and Lillian come over, and they're like 20. They don't need you. He's going out playing with the little kid. Like,
You say little kid, they're the same age.
And Lillian's upstairs making bracelets. Like, they're like, "Ooh, we're tired. The kids were here all day." I'm like, and you want my little baby? No.
Have you ever? How serious has you thought about having kids?
Like, I think about like being older, and like I do want one. And I don't get me wrong, I know I'm gonna be a bomb mom. Like, if that would happen, like I know I'll be the best mom
That's
ever.
true.
Like, but I don't know. I want someone 50-50. I don't want to have my brother, his wife, or my parents. I don't want anyone to help me. I want
Yeah.
my partner to help me.
Yeah.
And
And want to do it.
yeah. So when ideally I want to maybe get someone that already has one trained and can go pee and poop all on its own and walk and stuff, and talk.
You say like,
And walk
like
and
a
talk.
dog.
They're all
and
trained and stuff. Like, ideally, but if not,
They go to the vet regularly.
they go to the vet regularly, they get checkups.
That's what's cool. No, that is what's cool about being a stepmom, and that's what's something that I've learned.
that
is
he's
like,
trained.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no, and you actually didn't say it. I'm gonna say it now. But like, and this is true with any kid, but I realized it first as a step parent. Like, they are their own person, and they aren't gonna just love you and treat you a certain way just because they're your mom. Like, you got to treat them well too. Like, they're their own
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Like, they have their own like path in life, and like, we earn every happy moment we have together. And it's just like, being a stepmom is the greatest like privilege of my life. And I think it's, made me a better bio mom, because I'm just like, you're not fully just my child anyway. You're not my thing. Like, you're your own thing, and I'm here to help you like be whatever you're going to be. You're not obligated to do anything for me. You're not even obligated to love me. Like, we earn this between each other every day, and we get to like just show each other that we love each other because we want to. And it's just that's what it taught me. And I think going into it at first, I was just like, you owe me this because I'm the stepmom and I'm the lady of the house. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know where I was coming from, but
What's like
I
the
just
movies?
learned
You're like,
something
this
great.
woman's
yeah.
coming in, and I'm
Yeah.
taking over, and
Right.
this needs to be clean, and this needs to go this way, and you got to go to bed.
I said,
and
and it's not that at
But
all.
another thing that makes me think about like it's okay not to like want to have kids and stuff is because the number one thing I hear when I say, I'm not worried about having kids or not thinking about having kids, they're like, who's gonna take care of you when you're older? And I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't have kids to have
do
that. That's not their responsibility,
Yeah.
to be that way. And I said, I've taken care of many patients. For example, I've had a patient that had 10 sons and daughters. Not one of them came to see them.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Not, like I had to contact the brother. I had to, like, this patient was shipped off to a nursing home somewhere, and 10. He had 10 chances. They might not like you, or you shouldn't have kids with that. And that's the number one thing I hear when I tell people, "Oh, do you have kids?" "No, I don't know if I want any." That's the number one thing they say. And so that makes me feel confident maybe in my decision. Like, it's okay that I don't have them, because I don't even think about that. Like, in my reason of not to, or to, or whatever.
It's not a good thing to put on them, right? Like any expectations.
Plus, I got a niece and nephew that will do it for me. So,
Wow.
They're let me take care of me.
No, you'll be
You're
gone.
gonna have to live together.
You'll be gone.
No, you'll be gone. You'll be number 2.
That's why I told
You'll
mom.
be number 2.
That's why I told mom and dad I'm just gonna put them in Andrea's parents' basement, and so they all can be in one house.
Compound.
They can have me in one house, and
Yeah.
we can hire one person to take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a compound. Well, before we go, is there anything else? Was this as bad as you thought it was going to be? Because you both of you, well, not so much Misty, but Dina, you seemed nervous about it.
Yeah, but I felt good after
Yeah?
a while. Yeah,
Okay,
it was
alright.
good.
Yeah. No, I
I
couldn't
think
breathe
next
at
time I
first.
could do maybe a visual one, so
Yeah.
you could see my beauty.
Whoa.
Well, we talked we talked for an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I could keep going.
It's probably going to bring the most views.
Probably. All
Well,
the views. 'Cause
well-
Nick, Hexam, and Pino will probably listen.
Shout
But
out
I
to
know you
Nick.
know who you,
Oh
you don't
my
know who
God.
you are.
Second shout out to Nick.
As long as you guys share it and say like, "Hey, listen, I was on this podcast." That's why I notice those get the most views, is when people actually like do it to help with that kind of stuff. But yeah, but I appreciate you both coming on. It was fun. And next time you're in town, Misty, we should do it again and see what else is happening.
Maybe we can get Dan on here, the normie
Yeah.
of the family.
Yeah, I do have one more spot for one more microphone, so we can get 4. So, but yeah, so thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thanks for downloading this episode of the Nerdball Podcast. If you want to reach out or be on the show, just search the Nerdball Podcast on any social media. If you want to email us, that is thenerdballpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, there's always YouTube, so you can go on there, subscribe to the Nerdball Podcast, and watch the podcast every week. As always, thanks to Real JP Multimedia, Cuddlefish Graphics, Big Daddy Graphics, and Perrysburg Junior High STEM Lab for always supporting the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.